I think a lot of women are in a state of constantly preparing to live their lives versus just living it. And of course, I normally talk to the women in my videos, women who identify as ambitious or capable or responsible or driven. We're waiting for the next promotion. We're waiting for to make a little bit more money. We're waiting for the relationship. We're waiting for the slow season. And the most one that we hear all the time is we're waiting to until we feel ready. And I lived that way for many, many years. But one day I just had to wake up and be like, girl, this is your life. And you don't have to wait on anyone else or any one situation or anything else to start living it. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video, because once I made that shift, I started making decisions differently in how I would live my life, even when things didn't look like they should be. So that's what I want to talk about in today's video. I want to talk about postponed living, waiting for the right time, and what shifted for me when I stopped organizing my life around later. And if you can resonate with this, definitely I want you to stick around, because I have conversation with women a lot and we're always waiting for something. We are in the constant state of later, especially for my girls who are perfectionists, recovering perfectionists, and all of the things, which are many of the women who watch my videos. We're living in the constant state of later. Like I said before, we are waiting for the promotion. We are waiting for the certain title. We are waiting for the friendships, for the relationships. We are waiting for slow season. We are waiting for when things calm down. We're waiting till we feel financially ready, till we make a little bit more money. We're in 2026, so we're waiting for when the economy gets better. We're waiting to the political world gets better. We're waiting to see what AI is going to do. And like, we're just always in that constant state of waiting. And we're not actually living our lives because we're waiting for all these other things to happen. And if we're honest with ourselves, it also connects with the other things that are inside of women like us, like the over planning, the overthinking, the over optimizing, the over strategizing, like all of those things. But the truth is, something feel like something just bit me. The truth is, there will always be another reason to wait for something. So I just had to get to the realization, like I said before, like, girl, this is your life, like, and you have to start living it, because you sit around here waiting, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. Excuse me, some water here. I was about to get to going. I used to do the waiting thing in a few areas of my life. And what was the wake up call for me? It was like, girl, this isn't like, your life isn't like what do they used to call it? Like a rehearsal. Like, you're actually living your life. You're not getting older. I mean, you're not getting younger, you're getting older. So are you going to just sit here and rot, or are you going to live your life? The main place I used to do this, especially like in my 20s and early 30s, is I used to not travel unless I had like a friend to go with or my man to go with. Like, I literally wouldn't travel. And I was in a season where I was really wanting to travel. And it was two scenarios that kind of broke me out of that, like, waiting. Well, I know you can relate to this one. All of the trips that never left the group chat, all of the half planned girls trips that never made it to the destination, that got tiring and very exhausting. I did have my best friend. It would just be her and I, that when we would travel places. But it was when I graduated with my master's degree, I gifted myself a ski trip to Colorado. It was going to be me and my partner at the time. And it was around late January, early February. And I knew there was a chance that my partner may not be able to go because he had a job where he could be called to work at any time. I'll just say that. No matter what the situation may be, he may have been called to work. And of course, that's what happened when we were ready to go. It was like 2 days before the actual trip, and he got called where he was going to have to go do work for a certain time. And of course, I was like, okay, in my mind, like I felt like the Erica before that moment would have just been like, well, I guess I'm not going to go. I had travel's insurance. I'll just cancel the trip and get my money back. But I was like, just something in me was like, you know what? No, I'm going to go. Like this, I gifted myself this. This would have been my first. Would have been my first? Yeah. I think that'll be my first official time, like as a Florida girl, born and raised, being in snow, like real snow, going to Colorado for a ski trip. So, girl, I went by myself, did all the plans that I had planned, that we had planned together. I did them by myself, and girl, I had a good time. It really like broke something off in me to free me from always just having to wait for someone else to travel. That like lit the travel bug in me. I also did that with like in my mind, like since I was in my 20 something, it was probably had something to do with that movie, How Stella Got Her Groove back when they were in Jamaica. It was like, ooh, when I go to Jamaica, I always want to go, like, I want to have a romantic Jamaica trip. I want to go with my man, blah, blah, blah. Girl, again, waiting. So when I turned 40, that was my gift to myself. My 40th birthday, I took a trip to Jamaica and again had such a great time. I did go to that trip with my best friend. It was her and I, but we went to Jamaica. And again, that was me out here. I am. Oh, I'm going to save Jamaica. I'm going to save this. I'm going to wait to go to Jamaica until I can go with my man, girl, whatever. At that time, I was out of the relationship because that was kind of okay, yeah, but I was out of that relationship anyway. So it was like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to Jamaica and we're going to have a great time. And I had a really, really good 40th birthday, had a really, really good time in Jamaica. And that was like one of the major catalysts for me to kind of stop waiting, because that trip thing was like, had me in the chokehold, girl, just like always wanting to go to these certain places by myself. After that, girl, I've been going everywhere by myself. I would say I'm a solo traveler. I haven't traveled in a few years just because I'm redesigning my life. I'm rebuilding my finances. So I don't have like the finances to travel like I desire to travel. But prior to, like, girl, I was all over the place. I was all over these United States and the world by myself. Also, I think this comes into the bigger picture, and the things that I've been talking about on this 100-day journey is when we're in career misalignment, or we're experiencing chronic stress in our jobs or in our careers, and we get stuck in that situation of waiting. Oh, waiting. Oh, this might get better. Or if I stick it out a little bit longer, I might get the promotion. Or if I stick it out a little bit longer, maybe things will calm down. Maybe there'll be less stress. Like just waiting. Maybe we'll get some more support. Maybe we'll get some more resources. Maybe some magical fairy will come into this place and fix this system. Just waiting. And then we wait, knowing that we're in this career misalignment, knowing we're in this chronic exhaustion, and we wait for this magical time to come. I did it. and it never comes. And that ultimately led me to burnout. It led me to being overweight. It led me to being in chronic stress. It led me to being on two types of anxiety medication because I knew something was off. Again, I didn't have the language for it back then, but I knew something was off in my mind, in my body, in the work. I knew I was in misalignment. Again, I didn't call it that back then, but I knew something was there, and I just waited till my body said, no, girl, we're not waiting anymore. We're getting out of here. And I'll also say that, yes, sometimes things will get better. So I'm never on here saying for people to just quit their job immediately or just do whatever immediately. Everyone has to figure out what works best for them. But what I'm saying is you have to be mindful because yes, sometimes things will get better, but sometimes they won't. And just knowing when it's time to pivot and prioritize your health and wellness versus staying in that ultimate state of waiting, and not living the life you want to live, not doing the type of work that you want to do, the type of work that doesn't. Girl, I was sitting up here talking and the whole camera had cut off. So what I was saying was when you get in that constant state of waiting, because yes, sometimes things can improve, but what if they don't? So just keeping in mind that getting out of that state of that perpetual, that constant waiting, because at some point you have to get to a place of where you're moving from that into more intentional decision making and being able to live the life you ultimately want to live. Now, I do believe that there is a difference between strategic living and postponing your life, because you have to be strategic. I mean, for me, I'm navigating a 9 to 5, I building a business, I'm showing up here on YouTube, and all of that requires strategy. I'm very strategic in all of the work that I do as a lifestyle strategist. I do a lot of strategy work in my 9 to 5, of course, business strategy, me prioritizing my health and wellness at all times requires strategy. Listen, strategy is weaved all throughout my life. So I'm never just saying, quit your job immediately or quit anything immediately, abandon your responsibilities and make these impulsive decisions. I'm never saying that. I think strategy is definitely required. What I'm saying is, stop being in a place of where you're postponing your life and yourself forever. Get more intentional. Give situations a timeline, especially when we're talking about the career misalignment. Set a timeline. See if things get better by this date or this time, and then make an intentional decision to pivot or move forward differently. Be honest with yourself. A lot of times we're not being honest with ourselves, and we're definitely not asking ourselves hard questions. And just stop assuming that you'll live your life later, because you can be strategic without fully disappearing from your life. And I just, gave you multiple examples about that. And we also have to keep in mind too that sometimes later doesn't come. Later isn't guaranteed. We're all getting older and not younger. So we just always have to keep that in mind that later may not come. So we need to live our lives now versus continuing to postpone. I mean, I just had to come to the conclusion that my life is just not the ultimate waiting room. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to live my life now. I'm going to do my best to not, try to wait on these perfect scenarios or these perfect solutions. And yes, there are things that I still have to tap my own self on the shoulder about, like, hey, Erica, like, listen, you're doing it again. You're doing it again. So I definitely understand that those things will continue to creep in, but it's about catching yourself sooner. And I just had to come to the realization like, girl, I'm not postponing my rest no more. I'm not postponing my joy. I'm not postponing doing meaningful, aligned work, and if seeking out that work, and if I can't seek it out, building it for myself. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not waiting for some future version of myself. And I want to be, that voice in your ear to let you know that you don't have to keep waiting to live your life either. Like, that's the beauty of redesigning your life and lifestyle design as a whole. And that's what I'm in a season of, helping women like you and others do that. It's almost like, again, yes, we've experienced this thing. For me, it was the career burnout. But now that I'm on the other side of that, how do I want to work and live? How do I want to redesign my life so I don't go back there? How do I want to live as a full human, rested, joyful, doing aligned work? And then setting the goals to get there, taking small intentional steps to get there. I've done it in my life. I'm continuing to do it, which is why I want to help others, like you and other women, with their lifestyle redesign, setting those goals and taking those intentional steps to build the life you desire, to create the work that you desire. It's possible. This is your life now. It's your life to live now, not to live later. It's like, we have to live life now. There's a lot that's going on in the world that would make us want to dig a hole and bury ourselves in it. But it's also the beauty in getting out there and living life and experiencing life and doing all of the things. I know as we get down on this one end of this 100-day journey, I feel like I'm running out of gas a little bit, girl. I feel like this is the last week. We're in the final week of this 100 days. And I feel like, oh, it's the last week. So I feel like I'm running out of gas a little bit. But I have a commitment to show up here and to share. And of course, I'm going to get to the end of the 100 days. But even looking at what it's going to look like after the 100 days and how I want to continue to support women like you and others. And how will that look like for me, being strategic for me? So again, I'm not going into overwork or overextending myself while I'm still navigating a 9-to-5 that's coming to an end. Remember that I'm finishing versus quitting, and what that's going to look like. And my business is not at a place where it can fully sustain me. Yes, I make money in my business, but can't pay my mortgage yet. So then what will that look like for me to find contract work that is aligned? So all of those things that I'm thinking through right now. And like I said, how will I continue to show up here on YouTube after the 100 days? What will that look like for me? Not postponing or waiting for things to be perfect. I mean, I would like to build out a little corner in my bedroom that used to be my dream closet that I took down as a YouTube area. But that'll be later as things continue to grow and develop and I decide what this will ultimately look like. So let me know down in the comment, is there any part of your life that you've been postponing for the right time? I am so excited that we are on this final week of me showing up here every day for 100 days. 100, it's insane. 100 days. So we will be going live on day 100. Yeah. So if any of these conversations have resonated with you, if they hit you in any type of way, if you want to continue to hear these conversations, you definitely want to be on the live on day 100. So just stay tuned. That will be Sunday, May 17th at 12 noon Eastern. Yeah. Give this video a like. Let me know if it resonated. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you've missed any of the other conversations I've had on this 100-day journey, I've linked the playlist down in the description box. I'm Erica Prevail, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.